Okay, why don't you go to your notes, please, guys? Miss Mackenzie's notes. Look how much nicer her covers are than mine. Well done, Miss Mackenzie. Okay. Right. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff here. Let's just run through it quickly. So I don't have to for a long time.
So are we getting our back?
I get it back ready. I just get back with the passport.
Oh.
Okay.
Sorry. Sorry. Oh, sorry. A bit awkward.
Yeah, okay, sorry about that. Okay, anyway. Okay.
Can I just say something like, guys, please, treat yourself to sleep.
Oh,
that's
right.
Last time. Well, you got the guys that they go to sleep. You get to sleep and sleep.
Hi guys. So, just a reminder of something. I need you to scribble on the side of your page here. Something find it. Okay. So you have actually solved inequalities before that you have solved right. You're going to time up Pomodoro. 25 minutes. Okay. Right. So just a linear inequality. Inequality. You've done those before.
Yeah, no, she just said I look tan. I know what you do.
Stop, right.
You're
Okay.
flattering me.
Right, okay. So solve for x.
Linked inequality.
What did you think it said?
Linked inequality.
Linear. Okay. That is linear inequality.
No, that's my turn.
Okay. Right. If I say you solve for x and I gave you 2x minus 4 is less than 8. He's going to do that.
I'm going to give it to you.
Today is going to be the first day on this year that I'm going to start school. So excited, yeah?
Wow.
Right.
Please. Less than 6.
So 2x is less. What do I do first? Oh, the minus 40, so what's 8 before? And if I divide both sides by 2, what happens? The one is missing from the PDF of the notes? Okay, hang on, I'll do that just now. Okay, so x is less than 6. You agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well done, yeah. So I completely forgot about it. Okay. Now, so I'm getting into it. I'm like, today. Right. Heritage Day. If I gave you this, though, minus 3x plus 5 is less than negative 4. Figure that, eh? That's what it says, yeah.
What is that? What's this?
Okay. All right. So what are you going to do, Nina?
Well, first you're going to take 5 across.
Okay, so you can skip out steps. So you get minus 3x is less than negative 9. But now,
And then what you do there is then you divide by -3.
and if you divide by negative, what happens?
The sign
The direction of the inequality changes. Okay, so you end up with x is bigger than 3, right? Which is a set of numbers there. Yeah, right. Let's just see what you remember. I want you to go right. X is less than 6. Okay. Represent that answer. So if they don't know anything about x, and we never really do in this section, okay, you always assume x is a real number. Okay. which means I can write things in interval notation. But just for practice, you didn't forward this year. Go write that x is less than 6 in interval notation. And go write x is bigger than 3 in interval notation. Speak to you later, see if you remember. Speak to you later, speak to you later. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's 2 eggs.
You know,
Random information to make up.
Right, so it was a mommy inheritance days where broken shorts is partly back. Okay. You're right. Who wants to try this in validation, right? Go. Yeah.
Oh, it's sorry, round bracket, negative infinity, in the 6 in round.
Good. Okay.
So that means.
Right. And then what x is bigger than 3 going to be in its validation?
Yes.
Would you like to consult with someone else?
So it's
Have a consultation. I'll get you 30 seconds.
3,
Yeah.
and then infinity.
Okay, the only time infinity appears in our math at this stage is in interval notation. Okay. What's wrong here?
It would be the other way, so infinity and
No, you've got to always put the most left thing on the left. That's the most negative thing. The most negative. The most negative thing on the left. Okay. Yeah.
Well, I have a question. It's not math related, but I've crossed. In the bathroom, there's like all their laptops just in there. Like
Wait, in the bathroom?
the one, yeah, like in the sinks and like in the toilet, like on
Yeah.
the toilet and like next to the toilet.
Yeah.
Yes.
No way. No, that's just not.
I'm there. I was shocked.
Then the top as well.
Shall I go get it?
Okay, right.
There shouldn't be the toilet. They're just sitting on the toilet.
I'm gonna. That's my bathroom. That's the Roach Walking bathroom. What the hell's going on? Okay, right. Yeah. Okay. So now, guys, all of these are called linear inequalities, right? Because degree 1 is linear. Quadratic equations were equations of degree 1. Degree 2, right? Okay. So now we're going to do quadratic inequalities. So if we look at this, over here, okay, all of these, okay, are examples of quadratic inequalities. So A, B, and C just stand for numbers, right? Okay. You should just make one little note here. All of these, otherwise it becomes linear. Okay. B can be normed, C can be normed. But to be quadratic, okay, the coefficient of x squared must be positive. Good. Okay. Right. Okay.
Wanting to be
That's so real.
Okay, so now, okay,
Hi.
I'm going to not read through all of these notes. You're going to see them in your own time. I'm going to do an example. Okay. So, guys, the graph of, you don't come across the graph before. Okay, you can actually add some stuff here. If I looked at the, so it says here, we're going to find the x-intercept for the function. Anything x squared, what kind of graph is that? Remember? Y is equal to 4x squared minus 9. What kind of graph is that?
parabola.
A parabola, right? Okay. So if I said to you, okay, go draw the graph, let's see what you remember. Go draw the graph for me on the side of your page here. Go draw the graph y is equal to x squared minus 9. See what you remember. And label both intercepts. All three intercepts.
Okay, so the time.
Oh, what's great?
And so moved on by
A happy parabola.
Yes, so that happened.
So your shape is this.
It doesn't. We ate that on my.
How's the graph shifted?
4 down.
4 down, right?
And the 4 down is going to be
Yep. So that's your graph so far, right? Okay. You happy with that? What haven't we found that we always have to label? Right. So to find the x-intercepts, this is what they've done over here, right? Because when a graph cuts the x-axis, what coordinate do you know? Y is 0, right? And what's the job of an equation? To link up the x and y coordinates. Fish?
Yes.
Okay. So you end up with 0, if y is equal to x squared minus 4, for the x-intercepts is going to become 0 is equal to x squared minus 4. Remember that? Which factorizes to x minus 2, x plus 2. Okay, so x is going to be equal to 2 or x is equal to minus 2. So the one is 2 and the other one is minus 2. Okay. Now, okay, so this is my graph over here. Okay, that's the graph of y is equal to x squared minus 2. Everyone happy with that? Line with me? Okay. Right, now, in this question over here, it says, okay, we've got to solve this quadratic inequality. The example is solve x squared minus 4 is less than or equal to 0. Okay. So if I have the graph y is equal to x squared minus 4, okay, and I'm solving x squared minus 4 is less than 0, but y is equal to x squared minus 4. Basically, on this graph, I want to know where the y coordinates are less than 0. You get this logic? This is a graph is made up of what, guys? Millions of points, right? Every point has what? An x coordinate and a y coordinate. Okay, every y coordinate on this particular graph is its own x coordinate squared minus 4, right? But on this graph over here, we can represent every single point like this. You can either write it as x, y, or you could write every single point as x. Does that make sense? Quite an important idea. Every point is an x and a y coordinate, right? But the equation is saying every y coordinate is actually just the x coordinate squared minus 4, right? So when they're saying to you, when it's x squared minus 4, what did this question say? Smaller than or equal to 0, right? What are they saying for the graph y is equal to x squared minus 4? Every y coordinate is equal to x squared minus 4, right? You're not going to normally write it up like this, but what they're saying is when is every y coordinate, when are the y coordinates less than or equal to 0? That's what the question's asking you, right? Get a highlight out. Okay? Right. Okay. So go highlight on the graph. Go highlight the part of the graph, speak to your neighbor, where the y coordinates are smaller than 0. Smaller than or equal to 0. Go highlight where the y coordinates are smaller than or equal to 0. Which part? Go over the part of the graph where the y coordinates are negative, in other words.
I mean, everything until the negative 4. I mean, and then the 0.
I think that's what you said. What did you tell you? Okay. Go ahead, come up here. Come, you. What's your name? Sunny.
What's your name?
I like the part of the graph which is negative y coordinate. If she gets it wrong, we'll like throw stuff in. I mean, draw on the part of the graph, on the line. Like draw over the line.
Like chocolates.
We had to come help her. She's laughing at me. No, come down again. Right. Not circle it. Okay. I like the part of the graph. No. Which has negative y coordinates.
So
On the graph. So either you're going to highlight there, or there, or there, or there, or some combination of those things. Which part of the graph? No. Which part of the graph has negative y coordinates? Wait. Okay, so at this point, what's the y coordinate? Positive or negative? Really? Positive, 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 positive. Then the little ant's going from left to right. Then what happens? It goes over the line. Yeah, what's the y coordinate? There. There. There.
Yeah, look what I mean.
So that's the part of the graph with y.
This line is cute.
That's the part of the graph where y coordinates. Just remember, we're not laughing with you, we're laughing at you, right? Okay.
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not.
Okay.
I definitely
Right.
am.
Okay. So the brown part is the graph where the y coordinate where x squared minus 4 is less than 0. Because what is x squared minus 4 the parameter? It's the y coordinate, right? So there is your answer, right? But the question said what? The question says solve for x. The question should have said yeah. Okay. Worked example. Okay, just add in there solve for x. Okay, and you're solving x squared minus 4 is less than or equal to 0. I'll look at what the note says now. Okay. So now, that's the part of the graph where the y coordinates are negative, did we? But the question wants to know for which x coordinates. In other words, going from left to right, when does this happen? What I do now is I go to the number line and I say, right, this in red, if with me left to right is x values. So between here and here, there's my answer on the number line. Okay, so I treat the x-axis as a number line. Okay, so those between -2 and 2, the y coordinates are negative, right? Did it say we could include naught?
Yes.
Remember on the number line, when I could include something, we have a closed dot and open dot. Careful. Include was a closed, right? So there in red is my answer on the number line. That is when x squared minus 4 is less than equal to 0. Are you with me? Question said solve for x. So between where and where? Between which x coordinate? Between -2 and 2, right? So your final answer to when is x squared minus 4 less than equal to 0 is going to be, you could either write in interval notation. How do I say between -2 and 2 in interval notation, and including -2 and 2?
Element of
X is an element of what?
2 and -2 and 2.
So you can either write your answer like that, you can pick that language. If I pick inequality language, you have to write both. Okay.
X.
When you've got an upper boundary and a lower boundary, always remember the Beyonce song. Which way did the arrows face?
To the left.
Okay, so to the left, to the left. Okay. And your number, no, the arrows are going to the left. Okay. Okay.
No, but I don't look at it like that. I look at the way like.
Well, okay, we get
Okay,
it.
yeah, so
Right, okay.
there.
Right. So there's my answer to the question. The question was, for which values is x squared minus 4 less than or equal to 0? Well, if I pick a number between -2 and 2, they're going to be less than 0. Let's think about it. I don't pick a number between -2 and 2.
-1,
-1. If I put in -1, -1 squared is what? -4 is? Okay. Is it less than 0?
Yeah.
If I put in -2, what do you get? 4 minus 4, which is? 0, right? Okay, which is less than or equal to 0. If I put in 1, I get negative. If I put in anything to the left of -2, like -5, what's going to happen? -5 squared is 25 minus 4 is 21, which is not less than 0, it's bigger than 0. So if you sub in numbers between -2 and 2, it will satisfy that inequality. Okay. Fish? God, let's see what a note says. Sorry, I haven't even read these notes. Okay.
So you have read these notes?
No, so let's see what she says here. Okay. So here's our answer over here. So on the number line, our parabola would look like that. I'm going to start off with the parabola thing. I'll show you how to use the number line just now. Okay. Right. Okay. So your answers, okay, she's given a lot of answers here. Right, we end up with the same answer. Just an expanded explanation of the answer. Finish?
Yes.
Other time.
We have 7 minutes.
Oops, taking forever. Right, okay. Let's have a look. Okay, let's try to do this one using the same method. So the one extra step you have to do, okay, you remember if we had a quadratic equation and I gave you this, x squared is equal to whatever, 16. Okay. Actually, just remind of these. You've done quadratic equations, right? So if I gave you this, x squared minus 5x is equal to -6. Let's see if you remember how to solve for x. Speak to you later.
Oh, no, you take all of that and then make it.
What's so good? But I don't feel like typing it out. Do you want to? I don't know.
But now you honestly don't have an app to them.
So honestly, I do not have.
Who's an app again?
I have so much.
Sometimes.
I took she didn't want to speak to you, that's
Yeah.
all.
Sometimes, when I'm absolutely exhausted, I cannot, I
Not
can't.
them anymore.
I don't have it, okay. Right,
So done, it's easy peasy, lemon squeeze.
all right. So what does that factorize to the, Masana, what does it factorize to?
First bracket is x minus 2. Then the next bracket is x minus.
Okay, so now, from now on in this class, if anyone says the word brackets, I have to kill you.
What?
Okay,
Thank you so much.
I read that as x minus 2 times x minus 3.
So.
Okay, right, okay. So if two things times together are equal to 0, what does it mean?
There.
I mean, Sunny looks away. Okay.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you.
A times B, if A times B is 0, what's A?
Is equal to 0.
Or, does that work with logic, work with any other number?
No.
If A times, no. If A times, if A times B is equal to 6, it doesn't mean one of the numbers has to be 6. Okay. So here, what you're doing is you're saying x minus 2 is 0, but we normally skip out the step. So you get x is 2 or x is 3, right? Okay, but what was our first step with the quadratic equation? Make it equal to 0, right? Whenever you're solving a quadratic equation, in terms of graphs, what are we doing? Well, if this is a graph, y is equal to x squared minus 5x plus 6, and you let y be equal to 0, on the graph, what are we finding? The x,
Axis.
the x,
Axis.
is it, right, okay.
Sorry.
So our first step in these things is always going to be to get everything to that side. Our next thing is going to be factorize that thing. If I factorize something, what does it mean? Do we write it as?
Now, a product of its primes. Product of its.
Product. We write it as a product, right? Okay. If I say to go factorize something, it means we write it as something times something. So go factorize x squared minus 4.
Can be complex.
Boring myself. Okay.
Did you just say 4?
So let's see if I have to kill somebody. If I factorize x squared minus 4, where do you want to factorize to?
Oh, x plus 2 times x minus.
Well done. So what I do now, if I was sketching a parabola, what would the x-intercepts be? Okay. So now, if I go sketch this, where are the x-intercepts? -2 and +2, right? We're always going to end up with a happy parabola.
Always.
Like whatever never.
Yes, because if it's
Never,
negative,
never.
negative x squared will divide by negative. So it becomes positive. Yeah. Right, now pause.
Now.
What is the question saying to you here? What are they asking us? Are they asking us where the graph is bigger than 0 or less than 0?
Bigger.
Bigger. So in other words, when are the y coordinates bigger than 0? In other words, where are they above the x-axis, right? Okay, so they want to know where they're bigger than 0. In other words, where are your y coordinates positive? So now go highlight over the part of the graph, Sunny. Okay, where the y coordinates are positive. Go highlight where the y coordinates are positive. Nina, come highlight on this graph where are the y coordinates positive.
Time has come.
Right, okay. So there and there. Good. So, okay, right now. Come, Lubani. So the question is now, okay, for which x values that does this happen? So now I'll get another color. on the number line, highlight on the number line where the y coordinates are positive. You're in trouble if I just right up where you place. On the x-axis,
So why?
Oh, okay.
where on the x-axis does the red bit happen? Highlight on over the x-axis where the y coordinates are positive. You want to phone a friend? Phone a friend.
I'll give you a friend to phone. Sunny wants to be phoned too.
Okay, go. Sunny, fine. Sunny, you can't reveal yourself. Great.
It's a first one.
Maybe it's like, so I think why is that like not possible? Like that.
That's for future.
Okay. Highlight. Somebody, you're not getting a break until somebody. It's not in the way. Yeah, it does.
Why is it?
Wait, why is positive?
You see what the about? You pinned the balance.
Oh, like that.
There we go, the camera go.
Yes,
Yeah, you're right.
No.
Sure.
Standing with down.
Press undo. So there, that's it. There's your answer.
Yay.
I say it again.
Wait, try to find
Okay,
it.
right, let me give you that. Okay, the question, because I'm looking for the red part of the graph, right? It's, yeah, okay. So, right, so that's the part of the graph. Okay, the red part of the graph is where x squared minus 4 is bigger than 0. Kavish? Where your y coordinates are positive. So it's to the right of 2 and to the left of negative 2. But now you've got to write down an answer. And you can write that answer either as interval notation, and I go up it, either in interval notation or as an inequality. You're going to get on the wall. Okay? You're going to have the word or in your answer. Because it can't be in that right hand region and the left hand region at the same time. You benefit. Either in the one region or in the other region. So go write your answer. Let's try both languages.
Yeah.
Okay, so that region on the left. Well, how can I write that? X is,
Okay, I'll do it.
X is left.
Oh, that's wait. So, where's the pen? No, not the element.
Okay, do it like that first. Do it like that first.
No.
Okay, the green elements if you want.
No.
That's ugly.
So X is. So what do you X value? How do I write the numbers going to the left of negative 2? Those numbers are what? Are they bigger than negative 2?
Oh, I don't know.
So X is going to be smaller than negative 2.
Hi, Bogemi, what are you doing?
Negative.
Okay, so if you write it, that's interval notation.
But then you have to put element.
Then you have to write elements. Okay, so let's, what are we doing? Are we going to, listen, YouTube, listen. You want to do inequality with those things or do you want to do interval
I
notation?
want to do that one.
Okay, let's do inequality first.
Okay.
So, that region to the left of negative 2. How do I write to the left of negative 2? What are those numbers? Are they bigger than negative 2 or less than? So, your first set of numbers is if I pick anything, if x is less than negative 2. Start with the x on the left.
It is on the left.
But you put x is bigger than negative 2. Okay. So,
What do you mean?
what you wrote was x is bigger than negative 2. So now x is less than, not less than or equal, because look at the question.
But it's
What did the question say?
okay, Dora.
Just bigger than, right? So it's going to be x
Or.
is less than negative 2 or what?
Okay.
The region to the right is x is bigger than 2. Yes, well done. So that's your answer as inequalities. Everyone happy with that? Sunny, you with me? Good, the right answer. Right, okay. So now, go write that same answer while they're doing it at the same time in interval notation. How do I write x is smaller than negative 2 in interval notation?
So that's like you just wrote like.
Oh, you ate that up. That's perfect. No, yeah.
Didn't you write it into connotation? Not for
That
that.
was an inequality. Minus infinity, negative 2 is the area to the left, 2 infinity.
That was hard.
Didn't like that happen.
Yo, we ate that up.
Okay, so let's, what if it works out? There. So what is my process here? Where's the method? Okay. So there are lots of different methods you can use, but what are they claiming? What was the question? We're gonna have a break now. The question one was, what numbers can I stick in here so that those numbers squared will be bigger than 4? Okay, we said you can shove in any number which is smaller than -2. Give me a number smaller than -2. -3. What's -3 squared? 9. Is 9 bigger than 4? Okay, so -3 is working, right? Okay, so anything smaller than -2 will satisfy that inequality. Likewise, if you shove in some number bigger than 2, like 6, what's 6 squared? 36. Is that bigger than 4? Yes, it is. So what is our strategy? Okay, get everything to the left, get it north, right? Okay, if it's bigger than the part of the graph which is above the x-axis, the parabola. If it's smaller than, it's just a part less than. Okay, bigger than 4 is going to have like 2 different branches. The one region is there. So I use the x-axis as a number line. So when x is smaller than -2 or when x is bigger than 2 is going to be the answer which satisfies that quadratic inequality. You cannot do this. I see all kinds of, don't worry. If I show you what you can't do with this. Okay, right. It is now 11. Students, be wild, give you a 6-minute break. Okay, go away from your faces. I want to go see this. Where's this bottom here?
No.
Tell exactly.
Are there really laptops in the bathroom?
Yes, sir. I was very taken aback.
I don't blame you. I'm taken aback as well.
My God.
You know, my parents want to love the one. Yeah, they're celebrating the second anniversary. Yeah.
That's a long time.
I was just around. You have been so much. I've been so fake and nice.
Something I like to write. Yeah, then probably know. Nice to get to show.
I know what's your problem.
You broke. What's my problem?
What's your choice?
What's my choice?
It's not good on you.
I like things.
And color.
You only turn around with this drama. I'm trying. So I was talking to my mother the whole day. For her to contact the mother. That's
See? You said you. Ready? See, sir?
But, yeah, no.
Is he not? What's the water?
It's an actual, I'm talking for judge.
What if somebody? He doesn't have.
I don't know. Very weird place to store. I mean, there are a whole lot of offices just around the corner. But they pick the bottom. Oh, well. Who knows?
Bomb so ordered to go
I think it would take 2 years to.
Like the majority vote.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's something about.
Masana, who's your date for this?
I am.
oh, it's too bad.
You know, my mom was saying that we're gonna.
Oh, yeah.
That's what my son is doing by herself. And then my
Oh,
mom was
what?
like, no, we're going to find a boy at church.
Please, no. Anyways, it's really hard to explain that it's not that much to speak about, you know. Because you're the, like, you would go and have a big deal. What are you guys cooking on? That's not very
How's the end of our life going? In other words, how's the organizing of the of the what? Every year that happens. What?
We should learn from.
What's
I know you should. They should come teach you before you go.
They should give you a smile more, yeah, do this.
The organizing second year before to speak to this year. Do they go to the same thing every year?
I'm donating 65,000 rand.
What? Serious?
Where am I gonna get the money for that? I don't even have that much money in my savings account. I could just spend with it.
Yeah, you know what? Can we steal from a bank and see you know what happened?
It's fun for having your investment. You know, like people are like, people feel that people say I don't know, like something that has been after 10 years, you know, obviously the they're stealing £1 from the debit account every. And now they're just sitting with like 1,000. We'll literally tell them.
She doesn't think about everyone.
No, it's in your wallet. Oh, that's just such a German classic. That's what they mean is that so it's actually good for 10. Yes, it's actually. Right? She's the one who's be like guys on Friday. Let's say, oh, we must be yeah, just don't trust me. What are you going to argue? No, three. That's going to argue.
But it's that cool, it's not that brilliant.
He said, what? It's not going to like the head of house or something. He said, I'll take it to that. You're not asking yet, that's actually closer to so it's not ask. Oh, I'm not sure it's like that. Keep driving to your ass. Exactly, guys. You know what? It's not 2 weeks.
It's fine.
Exactly.
Oh,
Exactly. Really, you need to be waiting until it's sharp. That's what's got good. You are not a fuck. No. I don't care. How is your sharp supporter? I know. We have like same like so like so like
Right. For 12 minutes. Okay. Right, next one. Try. Come, try by yourself. The question is saying what? What numbers can I put into this box? So the number squared will be smaller than 16. You can actually do just by thinking. Okay. 4 wouldn't work. If 4 squared is 16, which is much smaller. 2 would work, 0 works. 1 works. 3 works. 5 works.
When it's less than, no, greater than -4 and less than, greater than.
So you can think about it, you can actually do it just by thinking about this one's like this. Just by without doing any fancy method. Okay. What's 0 squared?
0.
Okay, let's start with the left. What's -5 squared? Is 25 less than 16? No. The -5 doesn't work. Put in -4, does that work? What's -4 squared? It's 16, right? If I go a little bit to the left of -4, like -3 comma something, and I put, that'll work, right? So your answer will going to be from right up to -4, right? But not including -4. I'm going to do the long way now. Okay? But I'm just showing you could do it by thinking. If I put in -3, would that work? What's -3 squared? 9. Is 9 less than 16? -2, does that work? What's -2 squared? 4. Is that less than 16? What's -1 squared? Is that less than 16? 0 squared? Yes. 1 squared? 2 squared? 3 squared? 4 squared? So from -4 up to? There's your answer. I'll have to give you full marks if you just wrote that down. They're going to become more tricky and it's not going to all work. Okay. The long way, I'd have to give you full marks if you just wrote that answer. Okay.
Yeah.
Even if it's out of 6, I have to give you 6 out of 6. Okay, right. But or you could have written x is bigger than x is stuck between. So arrows to that. The numbers are stuck between -4. So either one of those answers is acceptable, right?
Yeah.
The long way that we're going to do, which we're going to need for the more difficult examples, is what? I'm going to move everything across, right? Then I'm going to, what does that factor out, please?
Do that though.
Right, and that's fine. Okay. So what are my x-intercepts? Right?
Yeah.
Then if I do the parabola, I just mark off negative 0.4. Guys, it doesn't matter what the y value is. I'm just when I do this parabola technique to solve inequalities, I don't care about any other intercept. All I care is about the x intercept, right? I'm doing the long way, then I just draw my parabola through minus 0.4, right? Are we good with that? What does the question say? When is it? Is that above or below the x-axis? Less than 0 is your y coordinates are less than 0. Your y coordinates are negative. Where the y, go highlight on the graph where the y coordinates are negative.
Friend's favorites. By the way, so I put it download. I don't have download what you just right yet.
But then why couldn't
Not the
why
It says, plot the following inequalities.
does it? Right. We'll go look at it now.
1 second.
Okay, so minus 0.4, did we? Are you happy that that's the part of the graph which is less than 0? Okay. Now, okay, go highlight on the number line where that happens. Sunny, come. Highlight on the number line where the green bit happens. You can take a friend with you if you want to. And the three box represents. Where does that happen? The green bit. Where on the x-axis would it happen?
Yeah.
Right, now can I include the endpoint? Can I include the endpoint?
No,
Why not?
because it can't be
Because it says
more than
less than, it doesn't say less than or.
equal to.
So put a round open dot there. And flat. Okay, so there's your answer on the number line, right? That's the part, now you can actually stay here. So now, you have to answer the question. Okay, when the question was solved for x, so when is x squared minus 16 less than 0? Which means either you can answer as an inequality or you can answer in interval notation. Pick a language. And see, you don't have to write both, you've got full marks now. But if you wanted to write it as an inequality, can you remember how you do it?
So the property would be very much.
Arrows to the
Left.
get the left, Gabby. So there we go, full marks. But when you got the same answer, there's a long way and just thinking about it. Okay? But when they get more difficult, you're gonna have to do the long way. Well done, you two. Well done. Right. Everyone got that? Okay. Right. Okay, we're not going to do GeoGebra yet. Okay. Did I?
Yes. No, it's a question.
I did. Okay. So guys, this is pretty much the same question, except here we had x squared was what? In the previous one, when x squared is less than 60. Right? The same question, you can go do it again if you want to. But now the question is going to be when is, you're going to end up with x squared minus 16 is bigger than or equal to 0, right? Okay, so it's going to be the same graph, but now you want the part which is where the y coordinates are positive, right? So that's how I write the answer down. The whole point of this parabola is to help you. We're not really worried about the parabola, it's just a technique to help you solve the problem. So if you started it from scratch, you would have gone x minus 4, x plus 4, but you don't have to do this all again. Same as the question above. So your x intercepts are 4 and negative 4. But now the question is saying, where are they? Positive. Where they're above the x. Are the non-parallel people also equal?
Yes.
So I can't see, like when I get tired, my eyesight gets bad, so you can't read.
That's bad. Okay, so where does anyone do this for? Take that as a no. So that's the one region where it happens. That's the other region where it happens, right? You being fun? Can I have the knowledge of wisdom, please?
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Right. So where does that happen? It happens. Can I include the endpoints? Yes. So from there to there. Remember, bigger than. Say bigger than is going to be two different answers on the parabola. Bigger than. Bigger than. Okay, right. Okay. Right. So go write your final answer down. Can you tell me bigger than? Tell me bigger than. Everyone. You win. Bigger than.
I can only bigger than one.
Less than. Wait, bigger than. One season. Less than. It's funny the same thing, but now with your time.
Bigger than.
Right, so write your final, pick a language. Pick a language. To answer, write your final answer down. If you stop there, you've lost your marks. The question was solved for x. Which x value satisfy that inequality? Your numbers, okay, give me an answer, Terminator.
X is an element of negative infinity to -4 square bracket. Yes, or four square bracket. Infinity with a round.
You wrote the answer to the inequality.
Oh, wait, but I wrote them both.
Okay, what did you say, Nina?
I also wrote down as x is less than or equal to -4, or x is greater than or equal to 4.
And how could I check I must be cut? Well, if you choose a number smaller than -4, like -10, -10 squared is 100, which is bigger than 16, and bigger than 4, okay, blah, blah, it works.
Yeah, no.
Okay, last line, and you go.
The geo change around.
I know we're not using GeoGebra. Okay,
Sorry, so.
we're going to ignore that instruction. Okay, right, okay, so. Just going to do one with you. Okay, so all you're going to do, now it doesn't matter that you don't know what this parameter looks like. Okay? All you have to know is where its x-intercepts are. So if you are drawing the graph, y is equal to x squared minus x minus 20. How would you find the x-intercepts? What do you have to do to find, when a graph has the x-axis, what point do you know? You're subbing y at 0, right? Capish? And you get 0 is equal to x squared minus x minus 20. So when you let something be equal to 0, you're finding the x-intercepts, right? Okay. So I've got everything on this side. So I want to, what's this going to factorize to? Go factorize that for me. I'm going to fall asleep while they teach. All right.
Good try.
Okay. If you get this right, you get it wrong, you stay for free. What does this factorize to? Oh, you should break. Okay, right. Go, no.
Okay. Wait, if I look at.
Go.
Okay. X minus 5 times x plus 5.
Good. Right. So now, wait. And I don't want you to write x is equal to, because x is not equal to anything. So write down what are the x-intercepts going to be? 5 and? Right. Are you happy with that?
Yeah.
So now, if I'm using the parabola technique, I don't care where the turning point is, it doesn't matter. All I have to worry about is, it's not a graph you're drawing, it's a tool to help you. The x-intercepts are -4 and 5, right? Okay. What, are we looking for the bits above the graph or below the graph? Look at that last line.
Above.
No, it says what? Less than or equal to 0, right? So we're looking for the part below, right? Okay. So below the graph is going to be that bit over there, right? So that's the part of the graph I'm looking for. Right, go highlight on the number line on the x-axis where that happens. And can I include the endpoints? That happens between -4 and 5, and I can include it. So there's your answer in green on the number line. So now write your answer down either in interval notation or in as an inequality. Interval notation gave you will be what? X is an element of. Okay, and if you prefer the other language, arrows to the left. Right, we all made it on alive. Thank you guys.
Am I not to the speed?
I think. 5, 6. Okay. Right, this is probably grade 11 4 for this as well.
It's actually not that bad.
No, it's not that I want to get you.
Quite nice and easy.
5. Go now.
I wouldn't have known that I wouldn't have put it down. I want to, but I'm not.
Okay.
Listen, I wish I could and I want to,